know where you're from, where you're checking in from, and what you're looking to get out of this.
At Michael Douglas TV, I thought that was an actual video of you and not a photo. And so I'm like, man, you haven't blinked for a minute, Michael, at Michael Douglas TV. What's going on? And I just realized it's a photo.
That's hilarious.
I thought you were just like just staring, and I'm like, oh, all right. Did it freeze? I don't know what happened. Welcome, everybody who is watching. If you are just joining, like Carlos said, go ahead and drop where you're from in the chat. If you're worried about security, just make it up, put Neverland. But we're gonna get rolling here on time in about 5 minutes. And we're gonna be talking all about how you can get clients from LinkedIn. It's gonna be real chill. We're not holding anything back. If you have questions as we go, do not hesitate to ask. That's why we're here. That is the point. You feel me? But let me know where you're from and what business you do. You never know if somebody in the chat here will buy your shit. So let me know what business you're in. My name is AJ. I'm from Chicago. I do B2B lead gen for people, business development. I'm in my living room because I work from home. That kennel's new because my dog was sick. So put him in that. Cool. Yeah. Throw it in the chat. Nobody's doing it yet, but I get it. I'd be nervous too. Florence, South Carolina. Oh, okay. Cool. Appreciate you, Michael Douglas TV. I didn't know we had a celebrity here. I'm in a weird mood, guys. I'm sorry. I did 7 hours straight of calls yesterday, and I'm still not recovered. All right, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Please, if you are just joining us, let us know where you're from. What's your favorite ice cream? Your name? What's your business? Just something easy. Favorite ice cream business? I don't know. Can you tell I used to lead like youth groups?
Yeah.
When I was a kid. All right, what's your favorite ice cream? Or other weird shit. What's your favorite color? Are you coffee or tea?
Those were like my bad, not pickup lines, but when I was single and I didn't know, I was such a dork. I didn't know what to say to people or to like a girl if I was talking to her and shit. And I was like, so what's your favorite color? What's your you like tea? You like tea? And I was like, this is horrible. I'm so bad at this. I don't know why Tiffany got me. I don't know why she likes me so much.
That's hilarious. I know why she likes you. You're great. What's up, Rob W? But that reminds me. So on my first date with my wife, and I've been married 6 years, I think, maybe 7. I don't know. But on my first date with her, we were like talking, and I was like maybe too high energy, and we had ordered a pitcher of margarita, so I was talking more than normal. I was nervous, right? She was this professional, like corporate girl. I was just this dumb gym owner, and I'm like, oh, what's your worldview? And I was asking like big questions. I'm like, okay, I need to stop. Let me ask something easier. What's your favorite color? And she could not give me a straight answer for like 15 minutes. And to this day, we meme about it all the time because she's like, well, I really like earth tones. And I'm like, I thought this was the easy question, dude. Like, what's an earth tone? Like, that's a palette. That's a palette, JD. She's laughing over at Eric because she knows. Checking in from Kenya. What's up, Kenny? What is up? People from the UK. I used to have the black Michael Douglas on there to make sure people knew it wasn't the other guy. Yeah, that's probably. Are you saying you're not the other? Are you saying you're not the movie star Michael Douglas? Oh man, I could have swore the real Michael Douglas lived in Florence. All right, we're gonna get started here in just a minute. If you're just joining us, or if you're watching on the Face Space or the LinkedIn, please let me know where you're from and what your business does. And if you don't have a business, what kind of business you want to be doing. We're going to get rolling here in just 1 minute. No messing around, no nothing. I can see we're live on the Face Space. I can see we're live on LinkedIn. So please do not hesitate to let me know what's what. We're going to get things rolling here in just a minute or two. If you're new to my world, hello, I'm AJ. I am the executive director here at Blink Media Co. We're going to be showing everything B2B, demand gen, and lead generation. nothing held back, showing you under the hood. As we go, I see we have 15 people live on LinkedIn. What's up? Let me know where you're from, where you're watching, what you do. Unless you're not liking the vibe so far, but we're gonna get rolling here. I've turned my client social media profiles into ATMs. Love. Turn mine into an ATM, Michael Douglas. All right, so we're going to get started here. So the purpose of this training is we're going to show you how we automate business development for B2B professionals. And we do this without ads. We do it without spam, without throwing shit on the wall and hoping it works. Okay. This is the same process I use right now to get the majority of my clients. So I'm not selling something that worked like 10 years ago. I'm selling something that I do. I'm actually not selling anything. I'm showing you something that I do right now. And so this is how we automatically add at least 100 people to your sales pipeline every month who are perfect clients. Okay. So who here who is on this training, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, I have it open on my phone here too, or you're actually in the Zoom room, who here has tried to use LinkedIn and or email for lead gen? If you have, hit me with a Y in the chat. And I'm not going to keep going until I see some Ys because this machine runs on props. Caffeine can only take us so far. So hit me with a Y if you've ever tried email or LinkedIn. It's like one, I'm seeing a Y, seeing a Y. I'm seeing another Y. Perfect. Okay, let's do it. So who's gotten results from it? Has anybody gotten results from it? Mixed? Yes, sort of. Not so much? Yeah, that'll happen. So my outcome of this training is to convince you and show you exactly how you can use LinkedIn to close your next client. You're going to have all the tools available to you to do this by the end of this training. I'm going to show you how to find the perfect client using LinkedIn. I'm going to actually just show you how to do it. And then I'm going to show you how we automate the entire process so that you can focus on doing what you want to be doing, which might be fulfilling, maybe closing deals, maybe hanging out at the park. Am I projecting? That's what I like to do, hang out at the park. Okay. And then we'll show you some little tips and tricks to put it on steroids. All right, next one. So who even is you, AJ? Why do you dress like a 12-year-old? The second one, I don't have an answer to. The first one, I'm the executive director here at Blink Media Co. Some of my biggest wins in the marketing and business development world was I helped a B2B company go from 200 to 260 million in 10 months. Obviously didn't do that by myself, but I was their head of marketing. Before then, I worked with over 1,000 small business owners in the B2B space, a lot of them in the wellness space. That's kind of where I started. We help people build 6, 7-figure businesses, some of them from scratch, some of them just automating and making even more profit, all types of stuff. And I have these features, big who cares. It just shows you I've been doing this longer than 5 minutes and I'm not doing it out of my mom's basement. I do it out of my own basement. Okay, so more importantly, I'm a husband. I'm a dog dad, and I pretend to be a chef when I'm not generating leads for B2B consultants and service providers, things like that. So when I was the head of marketing, you could see how ecstatic I was there. I quickly realized that a lot of my skills as a service provider, they translated into corporate. But I did realize that I didn't want to work 40 to 60-hour weeks for the same amount of money for the rest of forever. But I didn't have time to generate leads on my own, right? I knew what to do. You guys all know what to do. You know, networking, sending DMs, sending emails, speaking, you know, all these things work, but you're just like, I don't have capacity, dude. Like, I have a full-time gig and I have kids and I have a community service I do on the weekend, or maybe you go to church, or you have things you want to do besides just always being in business mode, right? Carlos is a huge family guy. I know if you see him on social, he's always posting his partner and his kid. Like, that's his whole deal. Me too, right? I'm mostly hanging out. And so I didn't want to spend all my free time hanging out on LinkedIn and email. So I'm like, how do I automate this, right? I needed a way to build demand without training somebody and without spamming people. Anybody here ever get those horrible pitch slaps in their DMs where somebody connected with you 30 seconds ago and they're like, hey, I'm really good at generating leads. You want to hire me? And you're like, fuck off. No, I don't want to hire you. I just met you. Now I'm going to unconnect with you and I'm never going to do business with you. So we don't want to do that. So where's the middle ground? Where do we automate without being too spammy, but still getting results quickly? Okay. So that's how we develop this automated demand gen system, right? And it's the system we use right now to generate most of our business. And I'm going to give this to you. Why am I blurring it? Because it's going to make it sexy, and then you're going to hang around and watch the whole training. Okay, but I will show this to you. All right. So who does it work for? That's an important question, right? So who does it work for is most of our clients are B2B consultants. Many of them are B2B executive coaches. So this could be a leadership coach, productivity coach, time management, strategy. We have a lot of career coaches who work with us. Career coaches crush, by the way. Do we have any coaches or consultants watching this training right now? Let me know right now in the comments. Are you a B2B professional? If so, put a B in the chat. Freelancers. Tons of freelancers who we work with, copywriters like Mr. Carlos Redlich, media buyers. We have Facebook ad specialists, YouTube ad specialists, email copy specialists, all sorts of different areas, right? This works really well for professional services, so like CPAs, insurance, legal even, staffing and recruiting agencies. Sales coaches, this crushes for. Sales coaches love us because they know if they just get the meeting, they'll just close, right? Leadership, basically, if your avatar is a B2B owner or a B2B leader, executive, C-suite, right? CEO, CMO, COO, that kind of position, VP, director, they're decision makers. This will work for you. On a scale from 9 to 10, how excited are we to learn this strategy and stop hearing about my past? And again, I got to wait for the number because this machine runs on props, right? Glad you like Pitch Slap, Michael Douglas TV, the real one. All right, who does this not work for? So I think it's important to know who this doesn't work for. This isn't going to work for B2C type industries, with the exception of maybe like career coaches or business coaches, if you consider that B2C. I don't really. But if you're like a business to consumer, you sell water bottles, pajama pants, that ain't it. If you're a direct to consumer type business, Shopify store or whatever, that won't help. Same with e-commerce, right? It's not really our vibe. And if you don't have a business, obviously I'm not going to will you a business into existence. That's not really our vibe. Our vibe is for people who already have businesses who are like, I just need more appointments or I just need more sales. Feel me? Cool. So here are companies that trust us. The most famous one is the CEO of Jasper. Actually, if you see this video, this little thing right here, this is me speaking at Dave Rogan Moser's event where he was the guy who started Jasper. He's the most famous one. Sales Alignment, who's in the construction vertical. This is in the productivity vertical. This is in the executive coaching, staffing, wellness, marketing agency, tech consulting. And these are just the ones with the cutest logos. Okay. But the most important client we work with is this handsome gentleman right here.
Let's go.
Yes. Mr. Carlos Redlich. We've been fortunate enough to work with him for almost the past like 6 months. And he was an interesting client because he didn't get immediate results. But when he did, they just started pouring in. And now he's obviously advocating for us, which is great. Here are my features.
Just to throw in so everybody knows for reals. The first month I was working with AJ, we were I think going after realtors, or we were going after like the wrong audience, and so I didn't get any appointments and any real response. And I was like, oh fuck, this is not working. But then as soon AJ hit me up before I even got to him, he hit me up. He's like, hey man, this shit isn't working. We got to tweak this to make sure it does. We went after a new audience of coaches, put a new little system in place. Well, he did. And literally, I think it was like the same day I started getting positive responses. And then I closed like my first person that week or something like that. So it was like a game changer. All we had to do was like tweak the audience. That was like the only thing. And so anyways, yeah, that's my experience.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, man. And yeah, we're very candid with what we can do and what we can't do, right? So and we don't really hold anything back, and we know what's figure outable and what's not. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure working with him, and he's been consistently getting pretty good results with us. Yeah, and then I have these features. big whoop. It's just to show you I've been doing this longer than 5 minutes, and I know people. That's all it is. Here are what these experts, right? Some of these people you may recognize: Mr. Carlos, Mr. Scott Oldford, Mr. Rogan Moser, Dr. Nancy Stanley, and we have honestly hundreds of these. Those are just some of the cuter looking ones. But I'm going to walk you through the entire process right now that we are using to generate 120 super qualified prospects every month. Actual good leads, not leads who don't have a business, not leads who can't say yes, not leads who are broke. Okay. But AJ, marketers lie. That's true. They do lie. And I'm not a fan of marketers that lie. And I get it that I know I'm not lying, but a lot of people in my position would. So I'm going to go ahead and show you proof, and we're going to make this objective. And so this is what we drove for our clients in the past year: 15,754 super qualified prospects in a brand new account. This was for us and our clients. And these are all people who are in position, like this isn't a bot list. These are people who have at a minimum connected, at a maximum requested a meeting and purchased, right? At a maximum became a client, right? Became multiple six-figure clients for people. So we kind of know what works and we know what doesn't. Does anybody on this training have an email list? If you do, what's a good open rate for that email list? Let me know in the chat right now. And I'm not moving on until I see at least 3 answers. And until then, I'll tell you the story of how I met my wife. No, I'm not going to do that. But go ahead and let me know. What's a good open rate on email for those of you who are email marketers? Some people saying 10%, 10, 20%. 20%. Yeah, I mean, typically that's the number I've heard, right? 10 to 20% is really great. And it keeps getting lower and lower year after year because we need to get better and better at writing. So you should maybe work with people like Carlos. We get as high as an 89% open rate on a cold email to somebody who's never heard from you before. So that's not what we guarantee, but our rock bottom is 60%. So we have a lot of clients blow past that 80%, 90% open rate on cold email, 20% reply rate at minimum. And you can see here, 19 people requested meetings from this. And I'm going to show you more proof in just a second that it doesn't just work for me, that it's not like I'm some magical person. Okay. So how we're going to build the automated pipeline is the first thing we need to do is automate your outreach. Clicking connect on LinkedIn every single day is a grind. It sucks. Nobody wants to do it. It's exhausting, right? So we need a way to get rid of that part. There's lots of tools to do it. I'll show you my favorites here in a little bit, but there are lots of ways to do this correctly. When we're automating our biz dev, these are some of our results. So you can see this was after like 2 or 3 months, 45 meetings. I actually had to pause my own biz dev to catch up. This is my associate. This is Carlos, actually, 12 meetings in his first month after we dialed it in. This is an environmental consultant, 17 meetings. A B2B executive coach, 17 meetings. Strategic advisor, 46 meetings in 4 months. So like we kind of know what to do, right? So we have 3 main goals when it comes to building your business development campaign. The first one is we need to find your perfect clients and the decision makers. We need to identify who that is, right? Is it the head of marketing? Is it the head of sales? Is it HR? We have a client who pitches to HR managers, right? Is it the owner? Maybe you work with small businesses and you need to go straight to the owner, right? These are the things we need to determine first. You need to know who you're selling. Right? That's pretty obvious to a lot of people who are in the marketing world, but maybe not. Maybe you're more specialized in design or creativity or the analytics and less on the finding the perfect people, right? But this is the first thing we want to do. The second thing, you need to build a biz dev pipeline that is automating all the boring, grinding, annoying shit you got to do when you're prospecting, right? So the clicking of the buttons, the copy pasting, the moving, the emails, you got to automate all that because doing it like one by one. I one time saw a course that their advice was to manually send 100 emails a day. And I'm like, this would depress the like, it would depress me. It would drive me into the ground. I cannot do that. And many of you do not have capacity to do that. It can be super demoralizing. So I don't actually advise that. I advise building something that can automate a lot of the grinding stuff so that you can focus on nurturing leads who are actually interested in potentially working with you. Okay. And then the third thing is you got to create the demand for those services by filling that pipeline with at least 100 prospects a month, if not hundreds, so that you just have a long line of people ready to work with you. It'll reach a point where you can actually just take a break from developing new opportunities. If somebody's like, I want to cancel, or I'm unhappy, great. You have another person up. Obviously, you want to make sure you're improving your processes, but you're never in that like fight or flight, feast or famine kind of cycle ever again, which is what we want, right? I think that's what we want as business owners. Okay. So the first thing we typically advise doing is auditing your social media and doing research into your ideal customer profile. We're going to do a little bit of that here today, but this is just like some places that you definitely want to start. Okay. But I'm going to get straight into how you actually find these decision makers on LinkedIn. Okay. So LinkedIn has this functionality called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Does it cost money? Yes. It's like a cup, like maybe not even, it's less than $100. Go buy it if you need new clients. It's the cheapest ROI you're ever going to get for getting clients. Okay. And then the way you're going to want to build your audiences or your first audiences is, let's say you work with business owners, you're a business consultant, maybe you're a marketing consultant, and you're just trying to talk to the people in charge. You're going to start by hitting up second degree people. If you have a large enough network, if it's too small, you can extend it out to third, right? You're not going to pitch people you have nothing in common with. That's the first thing. You're not going to connect with them. You're actually not going to pitch them at all. You're just going to connect with them. Then you want to find a geography of where your market lives, right? Are you in the States? Cool, market in the States. Are you in the UK? Maybe you work with people. Maybe you're, an international business. You'll work with people all over the place, right? So you got to find out where you're targeting people. Another thing might be, hey, if you have a lot of clients in, I don't know, New York, maybe that's a good place for you to market, right? Company size. Do you work with solopreneurs? Do you work with enterprise companies? Do you work with mid-market companies? You got to find who that ideal company size is for you. And I know if you're like, I can work with all those people, that's great. They're all going to be hyper-specific mini campaigns. Okay. What industry do these people work in? Are they in the construction vertical? Are they in the tech vertical? Are they in healthcare? Are they in real estate? Are they in online coaching? Those are all naming conventions that exist within LinkedIn Sales Navigator. This is just easy leads for you to go get. So if you take nothing else from this training, figure out how to find your ideal people. And we're going to do a couple other use cases in a second, right? Who is the decision maker? Is it the owner? Sometimes owners call themselves founders or CEO or president or partner, right? Could it also be the COO? Could it be the CTO if you're like an IT specialist? Maybe, right? So who are all those people? And then who is the anti-decision maker? Interns, janitors, entry-level people, right? You got to try to keep those people out. Maybe it's a recruiter, maybe it's a salesperson you don't want to talk to, right? So that's how you're building your audience. And it should be 95 to 99% the right people before you start prospecting. All right. Another example is if you're a career coach. One of the easiest things you can do for a career coach if you're looking for new clients is search people who have open to work in their naming conventions. You don't have to upgrade to the recruiter version of LinkedIn, which is very spendy. You can actually just search in your Boolean terms. You can also look for people who just got a new job, right? Why? Why would you look for people? Because maybe they started it and they hate it and they want to do it. Maybe you specifically work for people who've been at their job for 3 to 5 years, since on average, I think most people switch jobs every 3 to 5 years, right? Maybe it's people who specifically work in operations, or maybe it's people who work in sales or marketing, right? Marketing leaders has the highest turnover of any position. So maybe that's who you support. But knowing who those people are and creating the specifications, right? You can see just in this search under my account, I found 5,000 people who are looking for a job, right? So if I'm a career coach, that's 5,000 leads that I can just connect with right away and say, hey, you need some help? I can help you. Let me know. Another example might be if you're somebody who works with coaches or consultants, right? You can actually target those people within LinkedIn Sales Nav. And again, this may be a review for some of you, and for others of you, you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize LinkedIn can do this. We're going to get into the actual strategy of this in just a second, okay? And how to automate it. But looking at professional training and coaching is a vertical. Business consulting and services is consultants. You can also add as a secondary overlay, they identify as a coach, a mentor, a consultant. And then one of the best things you can do to make sure you don't connect with a dead account is make sure they posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, right? If you do only one thing, this is going to save your energy so much, because there's a lot of, unfortunately, LinkedIn accounts that just kind of lay dormant, right? And so if you're wasting energy going after them, following up with them, sending connection requests, you're going to end up bummed, right? So if you're getting people who posted on the last 30 days, you have a much higher chance that they're actually using the LinkedIn platform. Okay. Last example that I'll have here is nonprofits. We crush with nonprofit consultants, but you want to make sure you're going after the right company type and the industry type. And then, of course, the headcount. Things like, do you work with large nonprofits? Do you work with small nonprofits? I had a client who just closed a $35,000 strategic plan for a nonprofit using our process, right? So target this perfect client. This is the first thing you have to start with. Think about headcount. Think about the company type. Think about the function, the job title, how close, the geography, and the industries. And always remember to go after people who posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. I could do a whole training on just this side of it, but I'm trying to speed run it and give you guys just enough tools for you to be able to, operate the boat by yourself, okay? For you to drive the car. So this is how you would build these audiences. On a scale from 9 to 10, are we convinced yet that we should be using this to find our clients? Are we convinced that you can find your people via LinkedIn? And I'm going to open up my chat and I'm going to wait for the chat. Hit me with a Y in the chat if you are. And if you're not, okay, I'm seeing a 10. I'm seeing a 10. Yeah, on a scale from 9 to 10, how convinced are we this is the right fit for you? Seeing another 10. Another 10, another Y. Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad this machine runs on props. So we're going to keep going. All right. So in case you didn't know, because different people call this different things, an automated pipeline or a sales pipeline is just your list of opportunities. It's a list of prospective customers who are qualified and could be a good fit for your services. Okay. When it comes to the tools, there's 5 tools, and some of these can be combined into one tool, to be honest, that you're going to need in order to implement this strategy. Okay. So we're tech agnostic here. We use any tools. These are just the 5 categories of things you're going to need. Write it down, screen grab it, whatever. If you want to implement this after the call, if you want 100 prospects in your pipeline every month, you're going to need these things. Okay. So first thing is something to find leads. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the cheapest, most effective way to get this going, right? So I would start with that, okay? Second is a cold email tool. Why do you need a cold email tool versus like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign? Because there's a different email strategy for marketing to people who have not connected to you versus people who've opted in for something, right? It's the difference between inbound and outbound marketing. So when we're doing outbound marketing, we need a separate kind of emailing system. I like Woodpecker. There's a million of them. Instantly, Quick Mail, Mailshake. They all work. Whatever one you want. Next thing you need is a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, HubSpot has all the functionality you need for $0 a month. A lot of people like Go high level. You can totally use that. Salesforce. That's more enterprise people use Salesforce. Pipedrive works pretty well. Salespeople really like it. Yeah, so you need some sort of CRM. Then you need some sort of way to do automated outreach. Now, there's a lot of tech out there that does this. We've switched to recommending one called Automatey/Rebel Leads. That tech is the most compliant of all the tech. These are a little bit iffy, right? But you can use them and they will work for the strategy, okay? And then you need digital glue to hold this all together. These are the 5 things you need to build your tech stack, okay? So now you got, your lumber, your hammer, your nails, your caulk. I don't know how to build stuff. And you're ready to build your house, okay? This is the house. this is the strategy, screen grab away, whatever you need to do. But this is the exact process that we use to generate our 120 minimum prospects every single month. Okay. First thing we're going to do is you're going to take that sourced audience that we built together in the beginning part of this training. Okay. Once you have an audience of the right people, we're going to feed them into an automated connection request machine. Now, in that automated request connection request software, we're not pitch slapping. We're not saying, hey, do you need help with copy? Or hi, do you need a consultant? Like that's how you piss people off. The only thing we're using this for is to automate the actual sending of the connection request so that you don't have to click a button 100 times every single day, because that will drive you nuts, right? But you don't want to pay somebody to do it because that's super spendy. So have a robot do it for you. Okay. When people then accept, only when people accept, we add them to a sales cadence, right? We add them to a sales cadence of 1 to 3 messages. Now, these 1 to 3 messages are not pitching. They're just trying to connect. They're just trying to generate a reply. They're just trying to see, hey, should we be friends, right? You're building that relationship, you're nurturing them, you're warming them up. And they're also going to be surprised by the fact that you're not pitching them right away. You're leading with value. Maybe you're like, hey, is there anything I can do to help you, right? Gets added to your HubSpot account. All their data, name, email, phone number, personal phone number, first phone, work phone, anything you need, website, right? Profile. So that way it's easy for you to keep track of all these leads, because you could see over time, 100 a month is going to drive you crazy, right? If you don't have a system. So we're going to organize through them. Then we're going to hit them up with somewhere between 4 to 6 emails over the course of a month. Now, you want to custom draft these emails for your campaign. You do not want to use a template. You do not want to use like a copy paste. You need to custom draft these emails and upload them into the campaign and then automate the sending of it. Okay. Now, when we send the emails, you're going to get 1 of 3 replies. You're going to get either, yes, I'm interested in working with you, and they book a call. You're going to get no, thank you. And it is truly no, thank you most of the time, because this is the softest of pitches, right? Or you're going to get no reply. In the event they get no reply, you can add them to, at a minimum, like a quarterly email blast. At a maximum, you could invite them to webinars like this. You could ask them to join your newsletter. You can hit them with retargeting ads if you know how to do ads. You can do all these things. There's a lot of opportunity, okay? Do we have questions about this strategy, or does this make perfect sense? And AJ, you're a great communicator. If this makes perfect sense, hit me with a P in the chat. If you have a question, drop that instead, and I'll answer it here right at the end. And here I am. All righty. Cool. Pressing forward. Let's see what we got here. What's here? P. Okay, it's making sense. So KPIs, key performance indicators, are how do you know if it's working? How do you know what should I fix if something's broken, right? So we're not going to let our emotions dictate our actions. So as Carlos said earlier on this call, when we check these for our clients, because we actually do this for people, it's part of our business, right? And we're checking this basically every day. And when we see that these numbers are off, we know we have to tweak something. So typically what will happen is if something is below and it's not a perfect home run, right? We know we need to fix things. If the connection rate is low, the targeting or your profile sucks. If the email open rate is low, the subject line sucks. If the reply rate is low, the call to action is not clear. If you're getting if you're not getting a 1 positive reply for every 3 no thank yous, it means the offer isn't that great. We need to repackage it. If your booking rate is not high, it's because, again, probably the offer is not good or your follow-up is not good. And then if your close rate is bad, it's because how you're positioning your closing, right? How you're positioning your product. And we support people with every single part of this, right? Everything from templates for proposals and pitch decks to optimizing their LinkedIn profile, making cover photos, writing these emails, placing it in their business, okay? So these are the numbers, rock bottom, that you need to hit. If you hit these rock bottom numbers, we know we can send 2,800 connection requests a month. We know bare minimum 280 of those connections are going to get added to your email cadence. We know minimum 20% of those, or 56, are going to reply. 14 of those are going to reply that they're interested. 13 of those will actually attend a call, and 2 of those will buy. So that's the money math. So if you here sell something for at least $5,000, $10,000, this is 1 to 5 potential new opportunities every single month. And you'll find it actually stacks over the months and over time. But in your first month or 2 of doing this, you should be expecting that kind of cadence. Now, it doesn't scale to the moon because it's not paid ads, but it is consistent where every single month you have a predictable channel that's bringing 1 to 5 opportunities. And it'll bring you even more opportunities than just the sales. You'll get JV partners, you'll get referrals, you'll get intros to podcasts, you'll get intros to speaking events. Earlier today, I just got invited to speak at an event from this exact process, right? Where 100 of my ideal clients will be. So all of these things can help your business long-term on top of the immediate sales that you'll generate. Scale of 9 to 10. Is this making sense so far? Scale of 9 to 10. This machine runs on props. I need the props or I'm going to cry. Don't make me cry, guys. I don't want to cry.
There's also a ton of comments that I just noticed on LinkedIn. If you want to look at those, maybe at the end.
Yeah, I'm pulling it out.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. There are a lot of comments. Hi, guys. What's up? I've done a lot with this, a lot of this with little success in terms of getting new clients. Lots of conversations, connections, but it didn't bring enough to offset the expense. Okay, thank you, Max, for the 10. What are you leaving for, David? I don't know what that is, but okay. Ruth, to answer that question, yeah, we get that a lot. So I think, unfortunately, a lot of LinkedIn marketing experts, I'll put in quotes, they like to say they just know how to plug you into an automated connection request thing, right? And they don't really know how to turn those connections into potential opportunities, right? And so I think part of having a proper sales cadence and proper tracking is going to lead to more sales. I think a lot of times LinkedIn agencies will just like connect you to one of these techs, right? So I showed you this tech up here. They'll connect you to some sort of tech, and that's kind of where they stop. And I noticed that there was a gap in the industry as well. That's why I had to build this, because I couldn't find anybody who could do it for me, and I needed somebody to do this for me. And so when people connect, that's not the end, right? And it certainly shouldn't be pitch slapping them right away. The next step in this is you need to have an actual sales process to follow up with them. And a sales process that isn't pushy, but that encourages natural connections, encourages conversations, and guides the right people to your offer. So I'd love to be able to take a look at your stuff, Ruth, by the way, if you're still here, because I want to help people fix this, even if it's not with us, even if it's just for free, okay? So this is the money math. In terms of sales, okay, if you don't know how to sell from these connections, which is topical to some of these comments I'm getting, okay, we want to build a kind of a 2 to 3 call closing system, right? And so that is the sales process I typically advise for people. That's not so long where you're being dragged on for months, but it's not so short where people feel like you're like hitting them hard and spamming them with your message, okay? So your first call should always be an intro call, a 15-minute intro call where your outcome is just discovery of each other. Are they even a potential client for you? I like using the BANT formula, which is very popular in the Accentures and the other big consulting firms in the world, right? But like, you know, do they have the budget? Are they the authority? Do they have the need for what you're selling? And is the timing right? And you don't have to like go through it like a list. You can just have an organic conversation and check those things off as you go. And if you're like, oh, they might be an opportunity, then invite them for a consultation. Then invite them to a demo, then invite them to a webinar, invite them to a strategy call, whatever your closing mechanism is. And that is when you would actually pitch. Never pitch on that first call. The whole thing is just building rapport and seeing if they have a need for what you sell, okay? And for those of you who are used to the one call close stuff, that doesn't really fly in the B2B world. B2B pros in the comments, y'all know this is true, right? I've been ahead of marketing. I can't close on one call. It's going to take me at least one approval from the C-suite, right? I have to take it to my bosses. So this is the same thing for those of you who are trying to go up market. It's going to be different, right? It's going to be a true story. Somebody's saying, cool. So this is the process. Feel free to take a screen grab, okay, of this. But you want to do an intro call, qualify, find out what's up, BANT, Google it if you don't know how to do that. Then do a 45-minute, could be a little longer, could be a shorter demo or pitch call, okay? And then at the end of that, you're gonna, if they're the right fit, you'll invite them to become a customer. And then you can set a third decision call as like a follow-up if they need to go move money around, if they need to go get an approval from a boss, if they need to, get somebody else to sign off on it, whatever it may be. Okay. And as a disclaimer, if you're somebody who sells something for more than 30,000, you're going to need the proposal to go out before you ask for the money. If you're a marketing agency or a marketer, you sell like $1,000 to $10,000 smaller deals, you can totally just, close that on the second call if you want. Good or good? First call strategy was a free homepage consult. Somebody said in the chat, Ruth. Yes, I love that. So I love that, and I'm gonna consult on. I'm gonna give you a little bit more feedback on that in just a second, Ruth, because I love that. Here's some things to put it on steroids in terms of improving the effectiveness of your biz dev. But the biz dev by itself should be enough to get you from 0 to 1, right? You should be able to get 1 to 5 deals a month with just that. For most of us, that's plenty. Unless you're like selling courses where you have infinite scale, that'll be plenty for you. And even if you do sell high ticket courses, this is just an extra revenue system. Other things you can do to help amplify this, right, is add digital billboards, which is just LinkedIn ads. Hit them up 2 weeks before you start prospecting. Add an automated call on the back end, right? When they open or respond to your email, add an automatic call. Add middle of the funnel remarketing materials, such as case studies, publications, PR, testimonials, white papers, interviews. All those things are going to improve your results, okay? Add a monthly LinkedIn Live webinar, just like this. Oh, hi. This is guaranteed there's at least one person who has heard from me before who's on here and just like, okay, let me actually just see what AJ does. Cool. Create content for LinkedIn, especially video. You may not get the craziest engagement, but you will get a lot of views on it. It takes a while to pick up some steam, but the amount of lurkers who end up on calls and they're like, I really like your content, I really like XYZ thing, is a lot. And then adding LinkedIn direct messages as part of your sales cadence can double to triple what you're doing. And this is a true story. Okay, so today, we showed you how to find super qualified decision makers, okay? We showed you how to automate your biz dev, and we showed you how to turn those people into sales. Now, I'm gonna open up the floor for some questions, and I'm gonna be going through the chat on LinkedIn and Facebook and in the Zoom chat room as well, okay? So let's see here. First question. Ruth, your first call is a free homepage content consult. I think that's great. I might even just potentially remove the word consult, because consult, I don't know about you, but when I go into a consultation, I think I'm kind of going to be sold something, right? So maybe a review or an audit, or maybe like, I'm sure it's the exact same thing, but positioning it slightly different and leading with, hey, I reviewed your homepage. Let me know if you want me to go over it with you. I found 5 to 10 opportunities to improve it. That's one way to generate a better response. We have a client who does email marketing, and that's his opener, and he's already getting calls booked from that, where he's like, hey, I wrote you an email for your business. If you want to go send it to your list, that would be, and see if it works. And then if it works, you can hire us. That would be great. Right? It's all very soft. It's all very value driven. So I hope that's helpful to you, Ruth. But that's one thing I may lead with. And I would be okay with putting that in a direct message. I think doing it in a video would be a little bit more impactful. You can do it manually if you don't have a lot of resources, or you can do it automated if you have resources and systems. So she's saying she's got a lot of meetings this way. She just wasn't able to close from these. Okay. Yeah. So what I might say from that is that there's opportunity to improve the sales process. And probably not what you want to hear. I know it's a bummer to hear. But typically sometimes we're giving too much away or we don't have a nice follow-up process to help guide them to the next step. So I would strongly advise if you want us to take a look at it and kind of advise you on it. I mean, we've done this for like 50 people. We're doing it for 50 people right now. I'd love to, we're happy to jump on. No, we sell nothing. We'll just show you how to do it so that you can go get results. And then when you get results, maybe you come back and hire us in the future. What other questions do we have? I hope that answers your question there, Ruth. Anything else? Anything else? I'm gonna leave this thing rolling here in another minute. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat if you have one. I'm seeing nothing. I'm seeing people leave. Okay, before you leave, follow me for more cringe and B2B tips. TikTok at AJ Rivera, LinkedIn AJ Rivera, YouTube. You know, this is what it looks like. This is me, right? And if you want help. If you want our help and you're like, hey, can you review my sales stuff? Can you review my LinkedIn DMs? Can you show, hey, I'm interested in hiring your firm. Can you show me more on how the system would work or if it would work specifically for me? You can book a call with me. Our coworker, our account executive, Stephanie, is likely dropping this link in the chat on all platforms, as is probably Carlos, knowing him, because he's so supportive. If you are interested in jumping on a call with me or somebody from my team, we'll review this for you for free. We don't sell anything. We just do it as a value add for Carlos's audience because we deeply appreciate him as a customer. And if you have any other questions, anything at all that you need support with, do not hesitate to reach out. It's why we're here. It's why we're here. We're here to support you. So if you need anything, go ahead and click it. Chris Jackson is asking, will there be a way to watch this again if you want? I would direct message Carlos about that, Chris, as this is his event. I'm a guest speaker, so it would be his up to his decision. My guess is he might give you access to it. Direct message him and he'll probably hook you up.
Yeah, hit me up. I've got a possible, I think I'm recording this, so I just have to double check to make sure I did record it. If you wanted to catch the replay, let me know. I'll send you a link to watch it. Or you could probably just book a call directly with AJ and he can kind of walk you through how he's helping folks and how he's helping me do this too. So that actually might be better because you'll get personalized attention and he'll be able to actually answer your questions versus just watching a replay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody who's here, go back one screen, somebody said. Oh, what do you want to see? This? You want to follow us on social there? I'll go back as many as you want. Or do you want to follow this? So yes, if you have any questions about anything, if you're interested in seeing if this could work for your firm, you can click the link in the chat and book a call to talk with me. In terms of capability, we do get full very quickly. I was on calls yesterday for 7 hours straight from doing one of these a while ago. So if you're even kind of interested, I would book now. We'll probably shut it down at some point. This isn't false scarcity. This is Memorial Day weekend's coming and I don't want to be on the phone on a Saturday. So if you're interested, let me know. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, let me know. If there's anything you want me to cover in the future, please also list that in the comments below. Links in the comments below to book a call with us. Have a wonderful rest of your hump day.
Take care, guys.